why do you focus on blue chip art and, in particular, post-war pieces, as you explained to me earlier, like Picasso, for instance? Why those pieces?
So we focus on the contemporary artist and more specifically on the blue chip artist. By blue chip artists, we are talking about the most specific artists in the world. It's around 100 people in the world, such as Picasso, Andy Warhol, Kisaring. And why are we focusing on this kind of artists? Simply because this is the largest market. 50% of the sales in the world are done on contemporary artists. And the second reason is about the liquidity and the volatility. You have a high concentration of the value on the blue chip artists. All the sales regarding the blue chip artist is only 1% of the transaction in the world, but it's 50% of the value.
Understood.
So you have a high concentration of the value, you have the largest market, so you high liquidity of the exchange. So if you want to invest in the arts, you need to focus on contemporary artists and if you can, on the blue chip artist, but it's $1 million and more.
Okay, so you mentioned that blue chip art is more stable and perhaps also free of speculative bubbles. Can you explain what makes this segment so resilient as opposed to art before the Second World War?
The art market today is between 55 to 70 billions a year. For 20 years, it remains very stable. And we can see a very big trend that the demand is growing. You have more and more people able to spend more than $1 million for a Warhol or Picasso because of their emerging market, for example, or other things. And at the same time, the total number of pieces available, I mean, the stock is decreasing. It's decreasing because you have international collectors, but you have institutional. By institutional, I mean museum. When a piece goes to a museum, it's a piece less on the market. So you have a rising demand, you have a decreasing offer, so you have the cross of the curves. So you have a scarcity effect, and so the market is more stable and mature. You have a high demand and a decreasing offering.
You noted that contemporary art is also it's a global market. I mean, you're targeting uh, um, clients globally. So, was a significant portion when we spoke last originating in the US, and how is this influence, the US influence, how is this defining your strategies? How does this influence the diversity of collectors? I think it's half, you said, right? 50%?
50%, yes. 50% of the sales worldwide are done in the US
Right.
today. So US is the leading market in the arts. And 50% of the contemporary artists are American.
Correct.
There is a reason why, because after the World War II, American has been the most powerful economy, of course, with an extended culture all over the world. So US has been the leading sector for the artists. But today we can see a trend, a very big trend for, let's say, 10 to 20 years. We can see emerging wealthy people from emerging countries with very wealthy people able to pay more than $1 million for a piece of art. So we turn from an American market to a worldwide market. So today, if you have a Warhol, a Picasso to sell, your market is not the United States. Your market is worldwide. Today, the contemporary art market is worldwide. The first place is the United States, the second one is London, and the third place is Hong Kong.
All right. So you also highlighted that the art market has a debt less than 1%. So how does this impact the dynamics compared to other asset classes?
Yeah, it's very specific to the arts market. You have less than 1% of debt. Comparing to the stock markets or the real estate, this is very specific. What does that mean? In case of crisis, you don't have mortgage, you don't have margin call, so you don't have the pressure to sell. So this reduces highly the volatility of the art market. So the art market remains very stable because of the debt. There is no debt in the art market. And secondly, about the correlation, you don't have any correlation or no any or few correlation to the stock market and no correlation to the interest rate market because you don't have debt.
One more question for you. You resold 20% of your acquisitions with a notable return. So, what is your strategy to identify the right pieces and to buy them in order to resell them? Is there some secret
Some
in
secrets.
that selection that you can share with us?
Yeah, of course. Since 2023, we structure 52 operation like this, and we made 10 repayments with an average net return between 15 to 20%. So our strategy is to beat the market at acquisition. We are not doing, we are not making speculation on emerging artists or trends. We are buying very stable artists, and we are trying to buy the artists by beating the market at the acquisition.
Understood.
20 to 30% less under the market price. So we are targeting big artists, very stable, very famous, and we are targeting iconic pieces of these artists. By iconic pieces of this artist, I mean we can make a comparison between two iconic pieces. And this is very important because the key in the art market is the valuation. How to make a valuation of a art price? The valuation makes by comparison. So we are making a comparison between two iconic pieces by the same artist. And with that, we can make a valuation of the price we are able to pay to buy the artwork, and we are able to make a valuation of the exit price on the market. And the difference between the two price is the value. So we are beating the market at the acquisition, and we are not speculating on a quote, a trend, or emerging artists.
Thank you, Hugo. This was very enlightening. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.